Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Ubuntu Engineering on-air broadcast call. We're coming to you from ubuntuonair.com. If you're watching this video somewhere else, you should head on over there because we've got the video and we've got an embedded IRC window on there where you can talk to people who are following along and ask us questions as we go. You can ask us a question anytime in that chat window. Just start it with the word question in all caps, and I'll get a nice highlight so that I don't forget about it as we go. With me today, I've got Ollie Rice, who's new to these broadcasts, who's going to be giving us an update on some desktop and Unity 8 on the desktop changes that are coming. We've got Savik again, we've got Martin Albacetti from the App Store, and Alan Pope once again to give us an update on core apps. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll hand it over to Ollie.
All right, thanks for having me. So for today, I'm going to present trying to cover a couple of topics. First of all, is just a few updates from general Ubuntu Desktop. Since we had the Ubuntu Online Summit last week, lots of things have happened. You might have seen various blog posts. For example, Robert Ansell's blog post about a Mir backend for GTK that's been made available. So that's one of the accomplishments in that team, where we've shown simple scan and GTK application working in a single windowed environment on top of Mir. So that's pretty cool progress there. Also, the team has been working on creating a new ISO that has Unity 8 as the standard desktop, and that's just there to help us test and exercise that setup, that stack better. Also, the team is busy in updating just the usual, pulling in everything from Debian at the beginning of the cycle, and all the sort of hygiene work at the beginning of the cycle. And along with that, we're not only focusing on 14.10, the next release, but also there's just lots of maintenance and TLC going on for Ubuntu 14.04. So that's what's happened on the Ubuntu Desktop side. For another team that I'm covering today, which is Thomas Strehl's teams, also known as the Unity API team, they are heads down and on their way to RTM. A lot of things are going on there. So improved settings are coming and probably landing next week. You will see better flight mode and Wi-Fi AP settings and stuff like that. Also, in order to improve the performance of Scopes, the team has been working on an image cache. So you should see Scopes and the little previews come up way faster. There's no network query necessarily needed anymore. With an updated Scopes API, they also went ahead and updated Go bindings. However, while Scopes has departments or Scopes feature departments now, the Go bindings did not get that feature yet. So that's coming in the next couple of days. And then maybe Savik will talk more about what departments is in general. Another interesting feature along privacy and security is location support. So Scopes have an interesting trust model, and you could do lots of mischievous stuff there. So the team sat down and thought about how can we prevent Scopes authors from doing mischievous stuff. And so one of the things that they landed this cycle or this last couple of weeks was access to location servers with a way to actually obscure your location and as a user choice. So you as the user have a way to say, I want to provide detailed access to the most accurate location that I have where I'm at, or just a general vicinity, or the globe basically as sort of the largest scale. Another interesting thing, and maybe Martin is going to touch base on it, is the payment service. So that's the foundation for actual app purchases. It is in the image. but it's not enabled by default yet. There's more testing going on in our staging environment, and also a design review is pending. And I think last but not least, the transfer indicator, so like think of a download indicator, has landed, but we're going to probably iterate over that a few more times. Let's see, that's probably it from the API team. On the Mir side, so here I'm standing in for Kevin Gunn and Thomas Voss. Mir 0.3.0 has landed. I think the biggest improvement there, or biggest addition, was trusted prompt session. And again, that's another foundation for privacy and security on the phone, where we'll provide a facility for a dialogue to set privacy settings and other settings of that sort that can't be faked by any other application. For people that are using Unity 8 on the desktop, so on a laptop, on a touch interface, you might not have a cursor, and so the team went in and fixed that. So now finally you can actually see touch events and have a cursor follow that for systems that don't have a hardware cursor. And that's also an interesting facility for automated testing, because now you actually see the sequence of events as they occur when they're played from the autopilot scripts. I think that's about it from what I wanted to cover. Is that about right, Mike?
I think so. If anyone has any questions on anything Ollie just covered, please ask them in the IRC channel. I had a question. You mentioned the Go Scopes support. Are any of the default ones going to be rewritten in Go, or are they all staying in, I think they're in C or C++ now?
No, I think we have a couple of sort of prototype scopes that we use as proof of concept that we are moving to production scopes. But I would have to check with Thomas Drill to say for sure.
Okay. And then the next question may need Martin to help answer also, but are we going to be able to put these third-party scopes in the store so that the user can find add-on scopes and install them?
Yes, we will.
Okay. Is that working now? Because I noticed that I have an update to the SoundCloud scope currently pending on my phone.
Oh, it's not my turn yet. I'll get to that.
All right, we'll wait till your turn then. All right, so we'll go ahead and move on to Savik then.
Okay, so me on the Unity side, as Ollie mentioned, departments in the Dash landed. What departments are is basically an additional navigation method. So at the top of a scope that does implement departments, you will be able to choose and actually drill down a tree of departments, like in general on store websites, for example. And you will be able to drill down into those and select the department from that list, and this way just reduce the scope of what's displayed in the scope. On the Dash, there's a lot of work going on in the Dash. We have fixed a few things. We are adding customizations, so scope authors will be able to change appearance of the scope. A lot is happening there. So I won't be listing everything, but you will see a lot of changes in the Dash in the coming weeks. On the desktop session, you can finally log out, so you're not logged into the Unity 8 session. So there's a session indicator, and from there you can log out. That landed last week. We've added support for sound to notifications, so you are able now, or the services that are sending notification bubbles to the system are able now to supply a sound file with that, and that sound will be played when the notification gets on screen. The other thing is that we're working on is the new combo button from the SDK, so integrating that into the snap decisions. So you will be able to choose whether you want to reject a call with a message or hold it, stuff like that. One big thing that happened, we migrated to Qt 5.3 last week or so. There's still a few kinks that we are fleshing out, especially on the test side, at least from our point of view. But other than that, the transition seems well. We are working to extend on the logout support on the desktop. We are working also on the power off dialogues that will be used on the phone as well. So on pressing or on long pressing the power button, you will actually get a dialogue to ask you what do you want to do with your phone, whether you want to shut it down or just shut the screen. Usual stuff. As a lot of you probably know, we are not caching network images at all in the Dash right now. So as we load them, we need to unfortunately go to the network, but that will change soon. As in, we are working right now on caching the network images. So all the images that are in the Dash will be cached on the device. We added a simple splash screen for the apps, so you don't see the ugly white rectangle anymore, but some animation, and work is underway to actually make it so that app authors can customize it, so it will display an image on a background that's selected by the author of the app, so that you get some more visibility on this. And Qt Compositor work, which you've heard already a few times. This is coming to a close within the next 2 weeks. We hope to land it to be able to continue on larger surface management and transition topics. So that is basically being polished now. That's it for me.
All right. Any questions for Savik? Go ahead and ask them in IRC. I've got a couple of questions for you about the scope customization now. I've asked you this before. Is being able to change the background image one of the customizations that we plan to support?
Not an image, but a static color. You will be able to set a static color. Basically because background images, I think that's the case. Let me actually, because we went through a list of things with the visual designers and decided on what will be able. If my awesome bar will work right now. Okay, so it's yes, you will be able to change the background. To what extent, I can't tell you right now. Because I can find the document. But yes, there's customization. You will be able to change the background. You will be able to change the foreground color, which will also affect the symbolic icons, which will be colorized. You will be able to add a simple background to the header, change the logo in the header to actually have a branded logo instead of just the text. You will be able to add the background to the category headers. So as you have categories split into Dash, you will be able to change those. But it will be a simple background, as it will be stretched. We don't want to allow very elaborate images to be put in there.
Okay. And kind of related to that, once that support is in Unity 8 itself, will we be able to change the background for the default scopes like we used to be able to do?
Not right now, as in it's being discussed, but that's something that's not planned for now.
Okay. All right. Let's see. We had one question from Darex, but it's really a support question. So if you encounter bugs or you need help using Ubuntu, you'd be better off going to Hash Ubuntu. That's our official support channel, and there's a lot of people in there who can walk you through troubleshooting any problems that you have and finding a solution for you. All right. We'll go ahead and move on now to Martin Albacetti.
Hello, hello. So, getting back to the scopes in the store. So we're finishing the final touches right now. We're probably a couple of weeks away from having full support of scopes in the store. I don't know why your update wouldn't work though. You just click on update, it just doesn't update, Michael?
I'm sorry, what was that?
You just click on update and it doesn't update? Is that what you were saying?
No, I was saying that there is a SoundCloud update
Right.
available. I haven't actually hit it yet.
Okay, right. So what there is today in the store is we allow scopes to get into the store, but the store isn't aware of the difference between a scope and an app at the moment. Consequently, the scopes can't present on the phone the differences. It can't tell you this is an app and this is a scope. So if you do have a scope, you can upload it to the store today. We won't stop it from getting in, but we're doing the work so we are aware of when something's a scope and something's app, and you have a better experience with the device. So we're wrapping up the last bit, but the core pieces have already landed and are working. Something else is click package signing. If you follow the App Store developer list, you have seen a discussion recently, and we've started to move forward to actually implementing that. So that'll add another layer of security to Ubuntu Touch. The gist of it is that when a developer uploads a Click app, the server will sign the package, and the device is going to check that signature after it downloads it, so it can make sure it wasn't tampered in the middle, or it wasn't tampered on disk or in a data center. So we started to do work on that, which should be a transparent change to developers and users. Is something else that hopefully you'll see surfacing soon is the changes to the app scope, where you will see what we're calling highlights, which is just essentially featured apps in different sections. So that should help make it feel more like an app store and help us surface really good apps quicker. Something we're using to bridge the gap while we launch, and we're a little bit thin. Sorry, I'm going to stop typing. We're a little bit thin at the beginning on apps. So if you search for a specific app, so let's say we don't have WhatsApp in the store yet, and you search for WhatsApp, it allows us to give people a way out, saying, well, we don't have WhatsApp, but there's Telegram, there's these other apps that are similar on the store, and help people still move along. Automatic reviews of Click packages continues to move forward. We're going at this conservatively, so we don't break the process. But we're not far away from switching it on, and that'll just mean that you'll upload a Click package, and if everything passes, it'll be in the store within 30 seconds or so. So this is our run Poppy out of a job plan that we're still working hard on. We're also working on a web UI for the Click store. I won't get too deep into that, but that's coming along nicely and should surface within the next few weeks. We have a full set of APIs which aren't fully ready for any random third party to integrate into, but we have enough APIs exposed for the SDK to be able to upload directly into the store apps, both updates and new apps. So for the most common case, you'll be able to create a new app from the SDK and have it directly in the store, directly from the SDK. So that'll really make the process much more smoother. So that's the SDK team has that on their plates, and I'm looking forward to seeing that surface. And then we're doing a lot of work behind the scenes to make sure we are ready to scale for prime time. So we are Jujuizing the parts of our infrastructure that hadn't been for historical reasons. And we're doing lots of load testing and analysis, and just to make sure that when these phones hit the stores, it's a smooth ride from 10,000 users or so that we have today to several million. It should be a smooth ride for users and for us operationally. We're aiming to not having to be awakened at nights when servers collapse. So we're doing a lot of work there. And then finally, just a lot of polish and just making sure that our APIs are as optimal as possible. We're optimizing for the number of requests, making sure that the phone has to go out to the network as few times as possible, so the experience is much, much better on the scope. So we're doing a lot of polish before our team. I think that's mostly it for my team.
All right, thanks, Martin. And I gotta say, personally, the store, using it as a developer is so easy. And the last update I did, there was probably an hour between when I submitted it and when it was approved and published.
Right.
So the turnaround time, even without being fully automatic, is still just incredibly fast already.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've simplified just the click format and the reviewers tools that we put together, and yeah, I think we learned a lot from the previous store, and I think we got it right this time.
All right. One quick question, going back to Savik for a minute. When I last saw mock-ups for the Unity 8 Dash changes, there was going to be a way to manage favorite scopes so that you can add them to the set of scopes that are always available.
Yes.
Do you have an update on if that's still going to happen and when?
Yes, so being able to add scopes to your favorites, so you would go to the scope, which will soon be on the bottom edge of the dash. You will be able to select a scope from there and favorite it by checking there will be a star icon in the header that you tap on, and that scope will end up in your dash. Later, as in weeks later, probably not for the first release, we will add the ability to reorder them. You will be able to just drag and drop things in that overview, in that dash overview, just as you currently do on the launcher. So long press, move around. But the overview itself, like you being able to swipe from the bottom and see the overview of the dash, and being able to select from scopes to be able to add them to your favorites, that's going to happen within the next few weeks.
All right, fantastic. All right, and with that, we'll move on to Alan to get an update on the core apps.
Hey, so the first one I want to mention is Reminders, which you may remember is our note-taking app which syncs to Evernote. Up until now, Reminders has not been on the images that we've been building. It's in the store, so you can install it and test it. But we wanted to get wider testing of the app, and one of the ways to do that, we believe, is to put it in the image. And we've been doing some preparatory steps to make that happen. Part of that is, at the moment, the app connects to the Sandbox Evernote servers. So if you already have an Evernote account and then you installed the Reminders app, it wouldn't connect and see your notes that you've already got in your Evernote account. They would be in a separate Sandbox account. So David Planella has been working on the online accounts part to ensure that the version of reminders that we put in the image, when we put it in the image, connects to the production Evernote server. However, we'll have online accounts set up so that you can actually log into either. So you can carry on testing if you just want to use reminders and you don't want it to connect to your real Evernote account, then you can connect to the Sandbox account. But there's the option there, if you want to connect to the real Evernote account, you can do that as well. So these are all steps that are leading towards us putting reminders in the default image. And another step that needs to be done is to have the app reviewed by Evernote themselves, because we're doing this as a partnership between our community developers and Evernote themselves. And they need to review the app to make sure that it's not going to do anything nasty to their servers. So they've got an Ubuntu phone and they're testing the app out themselves. Once we get that approval, and if there's any bugs or gotchas that we need to fix, we'll fix those and then get it in the image. But as I said, it's in the store. If you want to test it out, you can do it. It's just called Reminders. Just search and install it on your device, and do file bugs, or let us know if there's any issues you find, because obviously we want to fix those. Moving on to the music app, one of the most popular apps, actually I think probably the most popular app on the device at the moment. The music app has been using something called Media Scanner, and there's been a Media Scanner rewrite, and we've migrated from Media Scanner version 1 to version 2. And the music app has had to migrate along to Media Scanner 2 as well. And that's finally landed. That's been work in progress for a while now, and the music app developers, the community music app developers, have been working closely with the Media Scanner developers in order to give feedback to them about issues that they've been having with Media Scanner 2 and so on. But that's finally landed, so if you're running an up-to-date Ubuntu phone and you've updated your music app, you're using Media Scanner 2. And the good news there is that we were able to rip out from the image the packages we no longer needed. So Cute Grillo and Media Scanner 1, which the music app was dependent upon, we've ripped out, and that's helped to make the phone image a little bit smaller, because obviously we don't want to have unnecessary packages taking up space in the phone, because nobody wants that. Now that work is done, the music app developers are working on all the other bits that they put on hold while they've been working on Media Scanner 2. So there's some UI changes, changes to the way you search for music, changes to the way we show lists of music and how we interact with lists of music. And those things need a bit of rework to re-merge with the latest trunk of music, and Andrew and Victor are working on that as we speak, and that stuff will be landing soon. Moving on to Calendar, there's been a whole bunch of UI bugs in Calendar since we enabled the ability for you to view your calendar events. You can connect to online through online accounts. You can connect to Google to see your calendars, and you can have multiple calendars enabled. We've discovered a bunch of bugs, and it's people who have lots of events in their calendar that tend to discover these bugs. So if you work at Canonical, you generally have lots of events in your calendar. So we've discovered some of these bugs. So things like the way we show multiple events that happen at the same time in the calendar. There were some bugs around that, and Kunal, who's the lead developer of the Calendar app, worked on UI improvements so that you can see multiple events at the same time, so they don't obscure each other in the user interface, that kind of stuff. Also some bugs relating to how events appear in the calendar when you swipe forward and backward through the days or through the weeks, that kind of stuff. These are all super improvements to the Calendar app. There's also a large change that needs to land sometime soon, which is to do with calendar management, and that means, as I said, you can connect to multiple Google calendars. So I have my phone connected to my personal calendar and my work calendar. So in one calendar, I see all my events at the same time, and they've got a different coloured blob in them, so I know if they're personal or work events. But sometimes let's say if you're going on holiday, you might want to switch off viewing your work calendar. And so the calendar management branch allows you to switch on and off individual calendars on demand. which is quite cool. And that's uncovered some bugs in underlying platform which have been fixed, but that's now almost ready to land. So that's being worked on at the moment. The clock. At our recent sprint in Malta, we invited a whole bunch of the core app developers to join us out there, and they had a great time hacking on the core apps and interacting with other members of the community, including the SDK developers and the Unity developers and the store developers and so on. So I think it was a really valuable time. And while there, Neklesh was presented with a new design for the clock app from the Canonical design team. And he's been working hard over the last few weeks since Malta to implement the new design. So it's kind of a reboot of the clock app, really. It's not a minor change. It's quite a significant change to the app. It looks really beautiful. And so Neklesh has been working on that, and that should be ready soon for us to land in the store for people to test. And at some point in the future, we'll flip the switch and take away the old calendar app and replace it with a new one. And my camera appears to be getting funky. So that's it from the clock, I think. For the weather app, we had minor tweaks to the weather app recently to limit the number of locations a user can add. So we limit it to 8 at the moment. We may make that greater, but at the moment we've got a limitation with the UI, so we're limiting the number of locations. And Martin, the weather app developer, has implemented that. For the RSS reader, the developers are working on performance improvements. One of the really nice things about the RSS reader, it's called Shorts in the store, is that it's a really beautiful way of looking at lots of news from lots of different places. But the screen can get quite busy, and it suffers a little bit under when you've got lots of articles on screen at once and lots of images and pictures from news all over the place. So the guys have been working hard to improve the performance, and I've got some branches to test today, so that's good. They also have recruited a community designer. They went out and looked around for someone who could help them redesign the app and make it look more beautiful, and they found a community designer who they're working with to redesign the app and implement those changes. So that's great news, and we encourage all of the core apps developers, if they have people who are volunteering to help them redesign their apps, then it's good to expand the team and get new design brains involved. Finally, for the file manager, we're adding Content Hub support. That should land pretty soon, so that file manager can be a source for loading files to other applications. That should land soon. I think those are all the app-specific updates. There was one other thing I wanted to mention. Next week, we're having a set of hack days. We do this regularly with the core apps, and we're going to do it again next week. So that's starting 30th of June, ending on the 4th of July. We're going to take the whole week, and what we do during a hack week on these hack days is we basically hack on all the core apps, fixing bugs, do a lot of destructive testing of the applications, triage existing bugs, try and allocate simple bite-sized bugs to new developers who come on board so that they can easily get on board with the core apps. And something we're additionally doing this time, which we haven't done before, is we're inviting community members to bring their own apps to the hack days. So rather than just focus on the core apps, we want to invite community people to bring their apps along as well, and maybe they can recruit people to start working on their apps. So maybe you've thought about getting involved in Ubuntu development, but none of the core apps particularly take your interest. Maybe something else like one of the mapping apps that's in the store takes your interest. Well, you can get in contact with the developer, or the developer can let me know, and we'll add them to the list of apps that will be involved in the hack days next week. We're not going to do the coding for you. The idea is that you come along, bring your code, and put your code out there somewhere, either on Bazaar or GitHub or wherever. Have some means of tracking bugs or a list of tasks that you want to get done, and maybe we can help you get some developers involved with your apps. There'll be a blog post up a little bit later today on developer.ubuntu.com, and that'll be cross-posted to Planet Ubuntu and everywhere else with all the details of all this. I think that's everything for core apps.
All right. Thank you, Alan. And just to reiterate on these hack days, you don't have to be an app developer or have a lot of experience with QML or the Ubuntu SDK to get started. The last several hack days we had, I think we've had several people come who had never done any of it before, and we started by getting them set up with the Ubuntu SDK and Qt Creator and the basics of QML. And some of those guys have gone on to become, really strong contributors to these apps. So
yeah, and we've had good feedback from the core apps developers as well themselves to say they really value the hack days because it's a great way to focus people's attention on their apps and also get new people involved who, as Mike says, who ordinarily haven't touched Ubuntu or the SDK before, and this is a good way to get bootstrapped. So we'll be around from 9 UTC until 9 in the evening UTC all next week. So come along to #Ubuntu-app-devel. But as I say, all the details will be in this blog post a little bit later.
Yeah, and if you can't make it during those times, we're always in that IRC channel, and we're always available to help you get started if you need to. That's just going to be the times where we're going to have all the core app developers there and focusing specifically on those things. So you can join that channel, #Ubuntu-app-devel anytime, and we will be more than happy to get you started. All right, I'm going to go ahead and give a short update on what's been going on the community side, and then if we don't have any questions in IRC, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. So it's been about a month exactly since we had the last one of these Ubuntu Engineering calls, and that's because 2 weeks ago, when it would have happened, we had the Ubuntu Online Summit. The Ubuntu Online Summit is an evolution of the Ubuntu Developer Summit, where we usually plan the development that's going on in Ubuntu during this release cycle. They're happening every 3 months now, and they're happening online. And in this last one, the reason we called it the Ubuntu Online Summit instead of just the Developer Summit is because we expanded the topics that we were having on there. So we spread the tracks out a little bit more to cover users who are just interested in learning how to use Ubuntu and different Ubuntu technology, as opposed to strictly developers who are contributing to improving Ubuntu. So we expanded those tracks. We brought more community participants in to give sessions and also to lead the different tracks. So if you haven't already, you should go back and watch those. All of the sessions during that week were recorded and are available for you to go back and watch. There's notes available for you to go read through also. So that's at summit.ubuntu.com. You can go through there. Everything's broken up by the tracks, or you can search for specific topics. I definitely recommend you go back through and watch some of those videos. If you're interested at all in the phone development and the roadmap for getting the phone into the hands of consumers, we had a lot of sessions on that. There was a lot of sessions on the cloud and Juju side of things and where they're going with that. And like I said, a lot of good tutorials for users who just want to learn how to use all of this stuff. We have our regular community Q&A sessions every Tuesday at 1500 UTC. The last one yesterday, we had Martin Pitt on to give us an update on things he's working on for continuous integration and QA on Ubuntu, and also a bit of an update on the work going into getting systemd as our init system, replacing Upstart. That was also hosted on Ubuntu On Air, so you can go back and watch that on the YouTube channel for Ubuntu On Air, which is just youtube.com/UbuntuOnAir. That's also where this video is going to be hosted, so you can come back and watch these videos anytime there as well. A bit of exciting news. Earlier this month, we hit 10,000 users of the Ubuntu phone software. We know this because the Click Store that Martin's team is working on tracks application downloads, and it maps it to a user ID so that we can automatically reinstall your apps when you get a new device or something like that in the future. Same kind of things that Android does, we'll be able to provide. And as a side effect of that, we actually are able to tell how many people have been downloading from the store. And again, we crossed 10,000 of those earlier this month. So that's a pretty big milestone, considering we don't actually have any phones on the market right now. All of those people are either putting it on a Nexus device or another supported device, or running it in the emulator. And since they're installing app updates from the store, I'm inclined to think that most of those are going to be people who are actually running this on a device, either directly or dual booting. We had some discussions during the online summit about ways to improve the Loco Teams portal. So we've got this website, it's loco.ubuntu.com, where we track all of our different local community teams and the things that they're active in doing. They'll list events and team meetings and stuff on there. And we're going to start exporting some of that information in the form of either team reports or an RSS feed that we're going to start syndicating to Planet Ubuntu and other places. And we're also going to add the ability for Loco team members to syndicate their blog into the portal itself. So there's going to be some work going on there in the near future to improve that and hopefully make it more useful as a way of getting news about what the community teams are doing. We're discussing plans for the next Ubuntu Online Summit. We should hopefully be releasing those soon so that everybody has enough time to prepare for that. The last one, we cut things a little bit short, so there wasn't a lot of planning time, and we're hoping to do better this next cycle. Another topic that we discussed during the online summit was an app developer training program. And this is a project where we would find people in the community who want to teach others app development targeting Ubuntu, and we're going to provide them with resources and training materials that they can use so that they can go out in their community and give these presentations. So Daniel, David, and I have been working on that. We've got some initial a code project going and some slides, and we're going to work on finishing that and hopefully kicking off this program sometime in the next few weeks or months. So if you're interested in doing that, get in touch with me or with D. Holbach or DPM on IRC and let us know, and we'll add you to the list of people who we want to have in that first round of developer training. Daniel's also been reviewing the Patch Pilot program. Patch Pilot is something that we do to make sure that when people submit a fix to one of the Ubuntu packages, that it's being reviewed and makes its way into the archives in a timely manner. And Daniel's been managing this for a while, making sure that our core developers are reviewing these regularly and responding back to people. So he's working to keep that flowing. He's put out a call to get more community people involved in this. It's been a little bit Canonical-centric for a while now, where we've got our Ubuntu developers in Canonical working on it, but we don't really have anybody from outside of Canonical. So he's really trying to get some more community developers active in that. So if that describes you and you're willing to help him out, please get in touch with him on IRC. And those are all of the updates that I have for the community team. And I don't see any questions on IRC. So unless there's any questions from any of you guys here on the video, I think we'll go ahead and wrap this up. I'll take that as a no. All right. Thank you, everybody on IRC, for watching. Thank you, everyone, for your questions. Thank you, guys, for your update. And we will be back in 2 weeks, which will be July 9th, for the next Ubuntu Engineering Live update. So if you have any questions after watching this video, save them for that. And again, you can follow all of these videos. You can follow us on Twitter. The username is Ubuntu On Air, or you can follow us on YouTube, where you can see all of the videos that we've recorded under this account, which is also Ubuntu On Air. So go there, watch some videos. Go to summit.ubuntu.com, watch some more videos, and get all the updates you want about what we're doing. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.